coast of Manabí, which is a province in Ecuador that is very known for the amazing food that we have, but also because Tanusas is a destination that, I don't know if you knew, but we are right inserted into a tropical dry forest. So I want to welcome you, Maria, into this amazing paradise. And thank you for being here in Tanusas and getting to know the place in advance, so you can tell all the people back in the US that are interested in coming to this retreat that we're hosting here. So welcome.
Thank you, Diana. It's a pleasure for me to be here. We're going to be having a retreat for my client, Diana Davis, in February. And it's just magical to be able to be working with you guys, because you guys have everything we're looking for in a retreat place. Sustainability, working with nature, and just being able to bring all the activities of like travel as well as gastronomy. So we're able to come to my country here in Ecuador, which I'm so excited.
We wanted to share a bit of information, so I wanted to learn more about Diana Davis. Why is she so great? What is so transformational about what she does?
Yes, so my client Diana Davis, she's a business coach, and she works with creatives, multi-passionate people, and she's able to take all these creatives, mainly women, but she works with men too, but it's mainly a group of women that we're going to be coming here. But what she does is she works on mindset, business strategy, and just being able to work on a full transformation from really taking you from all the blocks you might come across as a person to be able to be empowered to take a decision that works on self. Because in order to run a business, you have to be able to be really connected and work on yourself. So it's a very full package of like working depending on the stage you're at in your business. So she'll take you and help you walk you through the next stage, whatever that means to each person. Because she works with so many people from the wellness industry to photographers, artists, jewelries, you name it. They're very multi-passionate, very creative.
That sounds very interesting. And I don't think I told you, but I myself, I'm an interior designer, and I design all like the furniture and the lamps, everything that you will see back here in Tanusas at the retreat. And it's very interesting that what you're telling me, because as designers, we go through a lot of stages where it's difficult to scale up. We don't understand very well at what point we can hire someone, or we need to hire someone. So like having a business coach is so important, because you're so immersed in designing that sometimes you forget a little bit about how really to manage your business. And I think it's important to dive into how, like, the steps and how to grow in a very organized, structured way. But also what I understand from this retreat is that we will be, because I'm going to be in the retreat as well, like I've already decided to dive into this incredible experience and to learn more about what Diana has to teach us. But what I wanted to say is that I think it's very important to go deep in and understand how we can have a positive mindset and work also in our spiritual background, in our mental and physical balance, to be able to be a business or a business-oriented person that will be successful. Because when you lose some of the aspects in life, then it can be difficult.
It can be hard to juggle everything, trying to build a business, trying to find the balance between work-life balance, because you're a soulpreneur, you're an entrepreneur, and you're trying to run a business, and you also have a family, and you also have other things that you have to do. So what it's so important to have a coach like Diana is that it's going to be able to have accountability. And the most important thing that Diana brings is the connections. She is, and a lot of the retreats and in her containers is about that connection of empowerment between women. So you're gonna find those people that are going to be cheering for you. They're gonna be able to ask questions or reach out, because sometimes we're very lonely. So like you're saying, you're working on not only the strategic part of like how do I get my systems done and how do I hire people, but you're going to be working on things that are very important, which is the self, because you're not able to, your business is a reflection of the self. So if you're stuck, your business is going to be stuck because it's a mindset, like you said. So with this retreat and with what Diana brings, we're going to be able to combine the whole travel experience as well. You're going to be working wellness and coaching, and not necessarily in all the retreats that she has done. You bring the you be like, oh, okay, I have this strategy. I know what to do step by step. It is like a transformation. So you're able to be present and connect with the self, connect with others, and the process happens after. Because you could decide, hey, I want to pivot a different way. This is not in balance, aligned with the self anymore, or it's not feeling with your intuition, or is sacrificing too much of what matters to you, which is spending time with your family maybe. So that is what this retreat is so empowering, because all of the women, you're able to be vulnerable, be present, and everybody comes very open, and that's what travel brings to these retreats. And then being able to be here in Tanusas, you could share a little bit more, because I know that there's a little bit of a perception from recent news in Ecuador of the safety, and that's one of the big reasons I'm also here, because I wanted to make sure that everybody was going to be taken care of, it was going to be safe, and you're a local, so I wanted you to share a little bit about that.
Sure. I've heard that a lot of the news that is shared in the U.S. particularly is a little bit, for me, magnified. I'm local. I've been living here for the past 12 years, here specifically in Tanusas, and recently I moved to Manta, which is 45 minutes away from Tanusas, which is like the city where you will have all the groceries. So what I want to walk you through a little bit of what it is. Like the experience is you will arrive to the Manta airport, which is a city that has developed really well in the past 10 years. It's also rated as a very a really interesting place to retire. You have a lot of expats actually living in Manta. And it's because it's a very beautiful and safe city. Like we have a lot of like groups of mothers that we train and trail, and we take the bicycle, and we do it all by ourselves. So it's that perception of safetyness that is shown on the news is not actually what we live and experience back here. I understand that there are isolated events, unfortunately, that have happened in the past year. But what I would say is that in general, like the everyday life is not, it's not unsafe to be in Manta or to drive from Manta to Tanusas, which I do now. I commute. I didn't used to commute. I used to live here, but because of the kids, we moved to Manta, and we have that commute to work, which is pretty safe. So what I'm trying to say is that Tanusas, for example, is a place that you see it's a very open. I was telling Maria a few minutes ago that I don't have keys to my house, which is a little crazy. We lost them, and we leave our house open while we're in Manta, because we live in Manta, but we also have our house here, and the house is open, and nothing really has happened, because especially this area, which is Puerto Cayo, is a very safe area. There's a strong sense of community. What I wanted to also share is that we are in regenerative tourists. And a lot of people say, okay, so what is regenerative tourists? And a lot of people think, oh, they're putting more plants in, like bringing back the trees. And yes, we do a lot of the regeneration of vegetation. But also for us, what is really important in Tanusas as a destination is to regenerate the links between the local community and their identity, because a lot of that identity has been lost throughout years. So what we do is we bring the locals into hospitality, and we have a lot of trainings and teach them about their own culture, about their own, let's say that we rescue the biodiversity, and we bring it back to their hearts so they can feel proud. And that is also why I feel that this area is so safe because the community is always taking care of the territory and the land because they know that this is a prosperous and sustainable project that sustains so many families. So people really take care of the environment and they take care of the safety of the place also. So I think that's why Tanusas is also so safe and it's such a destination that people always are looking to come to Tanusas because of the intimacy, because it's really calm. You have this sense of where time really stops, and also that it is so safe to be here.
Yeah, and then I just arrived this morning and I was able to witness that. I had somebody pick me up, and the same process are we going to be following with any future retreats. With my current retreat coming in February, it's going to be a driver, and they're trusted drivers from Tanusas. So it's a trusted company. They'll pick you up, they'll drive you the 40 minutes to the location, which is also a private entry that, you know, no one comes in. It's surrounded by the beach, nature, so it's not easy access from anywhere for, you know, it's pretty safe, it's calm. Definitely you're going to be able to relax and enjoy everything that we're planning here for all the activities. And, you know, we're excited for the retreat in February, but any other retreats that, you know, that I'm also having any guests, like, I want to make sure they know that it's safe to be in Ecuador. It's about where you go, who you work with, and just very specific cases, like you said, that I'm Ecuadorian, I live in the US, I've had family here too, and it's the way the news are presented sometimes can be very alarming, but it is where you go, and of course that is everywhere. We have sketchy places in LA, sketchy places in New York, so I just want to make sure that not only I'm visiting and everything's going to be in place for this retreat, future retreats, but that you guys know that it's safe.
How was your trip? I want to know because there's some information, and I understand some of the people that are interested in coming to Ecuador are a little concerned about safety, and I wanted to hear from you, like how did it feel to come to Ecuador, and then we'll share a little bit of my side of the story.
Yeah, so I arrived this morning and everything felt really safe, and so I came in the first flight from Quito this morning, so I know a lot of our guests are going to be coming either the first flight or the middle of the day flight. It was very safe. You guys had arranged the shuttle for me. He was waiting for me there with a sign, so everything was so seamlessly. Like, he was waiting for me. We got into an SUV, so it's a local car, nothing flashy, nothing that they know, like, you know, it's a tourist bus or anything like that. But it was very safe. We drove 40 minutes to Tanusas, and Tanusas is a gated place. I came in and I was welcomed with a delicious breakfast. And I could see everything. It's so peaceful, quiet, and we're surrounded by a private beach, forest and natural forest. Well, Diana's going to explain a little bit more about the whole biodiversity and what we're surrounded for, because she knows everything about the property. And also she's going to be sharing a little bit more about as a local, because the safety is a big concern, especially because of the news that came in the United States could be a little bit alarming. I think they are magnifying the news, and it could be scary for somebody that has never been in South America. And somebody that lives in LA has come here for a couple days, being in Quito, came here. I feel very safe, and I hear from my family too. It depends where you go. Of course, there's places that might be a little bit sketchy, but it's where you go and who you're with. And so now Diana could share a little bit as a local and how we're surrounded by so much nature and how safe it is here in Tanusas.
I'm happy to hear that you had a good experience coming to Tanusas, and it really is very, very safe to come to Tanusas. You arrived to the Manta International Airport. That is interesting. That you should know that there are direct flights from states. I think Miami
And New York.
And New
Sometimes
York.
you can find some, yeah.
So you can fly directly to Manta, or you can go through Quito, which is an incredible city to visit as well, and also very safe if you're with the right people, the right shuttle, and the right arrangements. Nothing should happen to you. I think that Tanusas is an incredible safe place. I've lived here for the past 11 and a half years. I was telling Maria a few minutes ago, I don't have keys to my house because Tanusas is such a place is such a safe place because it's surrounded completely by nature, but also because the Puerto Cayo is really safe. It's a rural community. It's really a destination that is in the middle of nowhere, and the locals are fishermen and agronomers, so it's a very unique, safe environment. I think that a huge aspect of the safetiness is also because of the circular economy and us training the locals in hospitality. So a lot of what you will find here is really safe environment that is delivered by the people that are from the area. So yeah, I think that a lot of what is being put out there in the news is alarming, and of course I understand that there should be a concern, but it's also very much of how you plan your trip and with who you plan your trip. And I think that you're in the best hands.
Thank you.
And also you are in a really beautiful destination.